Standing in the front of room. Hi guys, and welcome back. It's your girl, Yummy.com. Thank you for joining my internet friends. I'm glad you're back. Like, subscribe to whoever you want. It's your choice. I'm here to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart. So a lot of focus on Nepotism Baby has been had at the beginning of 2023, and that made me realize that my favorite Nepotism Baby is, yes, Tracee Ellis Ross, but Kate Hudson, because I didn't even realize she was.
He's afraid that I will tweet an ethnic slur again. Yes.
And you told people you could make any girl fall in love with you, and I was Exhibit A. What is reality?
There was a time, you know, back when I was the one on magazines. He was nobody. I couldn't believe he was even talking to me. He was this little thing in my hand. I preferred that.
And with Kate Hudson, you're like, who's her nepotism ties? It's Goldie Hawn. Goldie Hawn, the actress extraordinaire.
You think just because I'm a movie star I don't have feelings? Well, you're wrong!
Now that had me remembering one of my favorite movies. It has been referenced time and time again. That is The First Wives Club. If you don't know what The First Wives Club is, it is a movie all about women who are the first to go. The first wives of very powerful and idiotic men, the divorcees, if you will. Some people may know this from the actual movie, like I did. Some people may only know the reference that Ariana Grande makes in Seven Rings when she's performing on Ellen. Who knows how you know it, but just be glad you know it.
Don't tie me down 'cause I'll never stay.
It has amazing, amazing talents. Like Goldie Hawn, like I just said. Bette Midler, like I just said. I didn't say Bette Midler, did I? And Diane Keaton, okay? Those are some of the powerhouses you get to watch come alive in this film. It all starts with a suicide, which is sad, but the suicide brings some college friends together and they all fight against their tyrannous husbands to join forces and create something for the better of the world. Now, of course, you're thinking, what are you going to do? Review it? No, I've seen this movie 1,000 times. I can't just sit here and review it. That's a lie. But what I haven't done is made a video about one of my segments called Minority Replacement. So yes, we are taking the already fabulous casting that is, and we are adding some color to it. Here on Minority Replacement, we take all white cast and we flip the script and we cast them with the multitude and big powerhouses that are in Hollywood that are not necessarily white, but are people of color. So with that being said, I'm gonna need my handy dandy notebook. For those who don't know, the three main characters that you gotta focus on, that the stories of the women that we are telling, are Annie, played by Diane Keaton. We have Elise, who is played by, of course, Miss Goldie Hawn herself. And then, of course, we have the wonderful, the powerhouse, Brenda, played by Bette Midler. Now, these three women, of course, we are going to need to cast. But before we cast them, let's cast some of the people around them. Specifically, we'll start with who I rank as the lowest on the totem pole. Not lowest, just has the least amount of screen time. Chrissy.
Nail Daddy and those other lowlives?
No, Chris, I don't mean nail him. I mean just teach him and help them.
Vaporize them.
Chris is the daughter of Annie. She's one of the daughters that helps with the scheme because she is sick of her dad just walking all over her mom. And, you know, and she's just a badass. She's for the people.
Mom, you know you're in a gay bar?
I know, honey. I know, and that's what's so great. It's very woman identified. And oh, by the way, I'm Chris's mom.
We want to cast her with someone who is also strong in acting and, you know, holds a family down, like maybe in Euphoria where Zendaya's off doing drugs and, you know, you got to really hold your sister down. And we're talking about Storm Reid, okay? Miss Storm Reid has shown us her acting chops time and time again. She's been in films with powerhouses like Oprah Winfrey, okay? Mindy Kaling. She's been in, that was just a moment in time or snitch in time or golden time. I can't remember the name of that movie / book. Whatever. without that else, she's also been in Euphoria with Zendaya. Again, she has gone to pound in scenes with some of the most accredited actors and figures in the Hollywood scene.
I wasn't gonna fucking do it. You're a liar! I'm a fucking liar. Yes! And you don't give a shit about you! You don't give a shit about me! You don't give a shit about your mama!
No, fuck you! Fuck you!
Fuck you!
Fuck you! Fuck you!
Fuck you! I can't believe you don't care that I stole only then I got caught!
I don't only care that you got caught. I care that you got caught for stealing something as stupid as a fucking TV watch!
It does other things too!
But nobody in your phone can't fucking do it. It's embarrassing!
No, what's fucking embarrassing is having you as my father!
I think that she could handle this role beautifully. Next, we're going to talk about the husbands. There are 3 husbands, 3 ne'er-do-wells that are Morty, Aaron, and Bill. Morty is married to Brenda, Aaron is married to Annie, and Bill is married to Elise. Bill is the first one we're going to talk about.
Get over it. Lift something. Wax something. Have something peeled.
The husband, ex-husband of Elise. He is a producer. He basically used Annie's status in the scene and had produced all these movies with Annie.
My client produced these films, which enhanced Miss Elliott's career. Therefore, she is indebted to him.
I produced these films. You knew nothing about films when I met you.
Starring her, and is now trying to sue her and get alimony and take half of everything she owns.
Babe, Lacey, what's going on?
Well, as per your request, I'm consolidating all the assets we've acquired during our marriage for liquidation. I think that would include all of these things.
And therefore, we request 1/2 of Miss Elliott's assets and a monthly stipend.
He wants alimony?
He's garbage. Bill is garbage, but who could play this garbage? I wanted to go, a little different. I want someone who could play a bad Hollywood dude and not necessarily has like a lot of credits as an actor, but I think could still play the role. And that is Carlos Pina Vega. If you don't know Carlos Pina Vega, he is currently and was in Big Time Rush, one of my favorite groups. He is married to Miss Alexa Vega, the original Spy Kid.
She is a spy! I told you she was a spy! And she's a beautiful spy, too.
Thank you.
And he is hilarious in the way that I think that everyone could see him as a bad guy, but no one really wants to see him as a bad guy. He talks out of his neck and sometimes, and that's not great, but I feel like it's great to have for the character of Bill. Next husband we're going to talk about is Aaron, who's the husband to Annie.
This wasn't just a kiss!
Annie, don't be childish. You know how you manipulate me.
What? Manipulate? What?
Aaron is an ad man. He owns his own advertising agency while Annie stays at home and takes care of the house and the kids and all these things. Aaron is an asshole to the biggest degree because Annie is going to see a therapist. Aaron is having sex and going to get engaged to that therapist that Annie is seeing. So the woman who is telling Annie that she has self-esteem issues and all these things is also fucking her husband.
Excuse me?
Well,
Annie, this is rough. I know that.
Rough! Wait a minute. I don't understand. You are my therapist?
I'm a woman.
He is my husband.
Annie.
Yes. So he makes it a specific type of garbage that I think deserves the worst in life. Mess with my money, shame on you. Never my bag. Mess with my mental health, I have to slit your throat. There's no other option, okay? No other option. Besides that, he is, of course, married to Annie. He's an ad man. He owns an ad agency, and he gets his own slice of revenge, which I really do like.
And it seems the business is very dysfunctional, sort of like our marriage. So, I bought them out. I think we should continue this discussion in my office.
In your office. Is that all you can do? Think of yourself. If you go through with this, I'll have nothing. Look, everyone in town is looking for the new guy. How can I compete? Who the hell's gonna want me? I'm 46 years old. I'd have to start from scratch.
I know just how you feel.
I have decided will be played by the beautiful and illustrious Aldis Hodge, because that is the only man I would allow to mistreat me.
Do you really respect me? Do they really respect me? Does anyone here really respect me?
Absolutely not. Like, any other man, no. Maybe Suga from BTS, maybe S. Scoops from 17, and then Aldis Hodge. That's literally top 3 men who can mistreat me. Don't take that as an invitation. I will slit your throat as a retaliation point.
Can get the out. Absolutely. I'm not raising my voice. I'm a very 0 to 100 type of bitch. I either talk like this or I stab you. And I don't want a case. So we're either going to have this conversation or you're going to get the out of my house.
This is it. This is feminism. We've won.
Just saying. Anyways, I think that Aldis Hodge, again, he has been in so many blockbuster films recently. He was obviously in Black Adam and is getting a nominee for an NAACP award, which he may be already have won already at this point, but or not, who knows. But he is an amazing actor. He was in Leverage, which I love. He had a smooth balance of, you know, playing the comedic relief, but still had his head on his shoulders, thinking, a thought man. Honestly, this is an excuse for me to see Aldis Hodge in a suit, and I kind of love it for me. And, like, honestly, if I was a therapist, like, who else would I be tempted by? I'm not going to be tempted by the guy who actually plays Bill. No, I'd be tempted by Aldis Hodge.
Some white folks just cannot wait to pat themselves on the back for not being cruel to us. Like we should be singing hosannas just because they found the kindness in their hearts to almost treat us like real human beings. I mean, do you expect a dog to give you a medal for not kicking it that day?
You don't think the FBI is probably starting to follow him around too?
Oh man, now you're gonna fucking jinx me.
Next and last husband is Morty.
That's embarrassing. You know something? You never listen. For 20 years, you never ever listen. Here. Honey, why don't you try this on in the fitting room? Looks very nice.
You know, I could use this. It's very beautiful, and I love the color. But what am I going to use for money? How am I going to pay for it?
It's the company that is expanding. Don't you understand that? The company, not me. I'm a mere laborer, okay?
You're a liar and a fraud.
Morty is a washer, dryer, electronics kind of guy. Like, he has several stores within the area, and he's made a lot of money off of it. And again, he got his connections through his wife. His wife's father is the one who helped cook his books and have him sell stolen electronics, and helped with that. Wife didn't know, but he did actually do that. He is the least offensive one here. I don't think that he's the best. I mean, I guess legally he's the best, but like, he's the least offensive.
I don't hate you. I wish I could. But you're still kind of cute for an overbearing, cradle-robbing, spandex-sucking criminal.
Here, but Morty is also a special kind of trash because he does not take care of his wife and child. His wife is financially supporting their child, and she even talks about how that's the only thing her father would pay for was the boy's bar mitzvah. Like, it's wild. He doesn't take care of his family even after they have separated, which is wrong in my book. Who I have for Morty, playing Morty, is Daveed Diggs. Now, I have casted Daveed Diggs because, again, who else would I want to mistreat me? But also Daveed Diggs is, if you don't know Daveed Diggs, he was originally in Hamilton. He is a phenomenal singer and rapper, but he's also a great actor. He was in one of my favorite movies, Blind Spotting.
Why are there 6 guns in your car, Dad?
Oh, Colin, man, I like yours.
Right here.
Yo,
this is not mine. Also, stop pointing at me.
They're not loaded, bruh. Those are for sure loaded.
Pictures!
Guess I'm just a little bigger than a picture, playing chicken with a cliff, but I ain't never been a flincher. Block is getting hotter. I'ma be the one to bring the winter. Fuck it, everybody want a body of a cop to splinter. I mean, why wouldn't I dead him? He's splitting wigs for 80K a year and ain't from here. He'll miss him if he disappear. Filling up with fear, I know you feel it. I've been feeling it for years. In fact, I don't remember ever never feeling it. The one who going dummy never felt the need to run, but I've been sprinting till I live across the finish with a gun up in my blind spot. Really, ain't too hard to figure that you probably never really felt the pressure of a nigga, but you know what? I ain't never felt the pressures of a trigger.
He created actually Blind Spotting. He was in Snowpiercer, the star of Snowpiercer. He was in so many different things. Super talented, super amazing. But I just also, the thing about Morty and Brenda is that they're Jewish. Like, one of the main points of the shtick that's going on, the plots is that Brenda's son is having his bar mitzvah, and that's the only thing that Morty will pay for. So like, I want to keep that Jewish aspect while also showing people that Black people can be Jewish too. So I was like, who is a talented Jewish person of color actor that could hold this role? Because Morty, I feel like, has the most lines out of all of the husbands and is most involved in the plot. So I felt Daveed Diggs was a good match for that.
I pick us up, I keep you out of dumb shit, and then what do? You go out and you buy a fucking gun for what? For your family? You are the nigger that they are out here looking for!
Not to make everything a matter of life and death. I wouldn't say anything, I don't like to waste my breath. The pendulum swings slow whether you're right or left, but you got a right to vote. Black Thought, go in.
All three of these men have left their wives for younger pursuits.
Oh, God, make it go away. Shelley, look at you. My, the bulimia certainly has paid off.
How old is she, Bill? 25, 26?
21.
Yeah. In about 5 years. She's 16.
What?
2 years ago, she dropped out of a little high school in Newkirk, Idaho. Should have done your homework, Bill.
They wanted a taste of that sweet, sweet, youthful flesh while they enter their midlife crises, and they leave and ditch their hold it downs. Now, we are going to go to our ladies of the hour, our Annie, our Elise, and our Brenda. We will start with Elise. Elise is a Hollywood actress. She is married to Bill, who is the producer, who is trying to take her for everything she is worth.
Phoebe, some advice. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Phoebe, she's bitter.
And take the cappuccino machine. Oh, Bill! As per our agreement, I sold our assets to a friend of mine. Here's your half.
50 cents?
Considering our history together, I thought $1 was terribly fair. Oh, all right. Take it all.
She has this affinity for staying young, and you know, she is like all about the Botox and the lips and the everything.
Look at yourself. You're incredible. You're my masterpiece. There's not one line on your face.
Oh, come on. I mean, youth and beauty, man. I mean, that's the ticket.
Now, that's to say that she's a little self-centered and a little, what is the egotistical? I can't think of the word, but where you're vain, that's the one, vain. She's a very vain person. Now, I thought, who could play vain? And also, we need her to look young because she's had a lot of work done. So I immediately thought into my bag of tricks and thought of Kimiko Glenn. Kimiko Glenn was also on Broadway. She was a fantastic actress in Waitress.
Someone who, when he sees me, wants to get.
And then she moved on and she continued in film and in singing.
Thank God. Everyone in here is in such a bad mood all the time. I mean, like, I always thought women's prison would be more about community and girl power and stuff. Some of these women just seem crazy.
Problems, they follow me. Oh, but every night I close my eyes and all my troubles fade.
Which was great, but the role that made me think of her for this was she was in a show called Liza on Demand, which was a not HBO, a YouTube original show, Liza on Demand, starring Liza Koshy. And she played Liza's roommate, who was this bougie, uppity, posh kind of character. And it really gave me Elise vibes. And
Promise me that you're not going to Airbnb my room while I'm away.
What? I would never.
I know you've already done it twice.
Do that again.
Blow me. You're a fat slut who eats at Red Lobster.
I don't even understand that.
I know, right? I love Red Lobster. Crabfest is the tip.
I felt like she could really hone into that and really play into that. And I also like the idea of, I think that Kimiko Glenn, she may be like smaller in stature, but she's a big presence. And I like the idea of like her presence kind of towering over like Carlos Pina Vega's. I think that would be super interesting to play with in dynamics. Now, after Elise, we have Brenda.
What else did you have done? Come on, Elise, you can tell me. The cheekbones, the jawline. Do you just have a little bit or the full enchilada?
As I said before, I would like them to still be a Jewish couple. So I thought into my bag of tricks, who is a Jewish American person of color who's a fantastic actress and still can hold the spice and the kick that Brenda does.
I loved Morty. What? Very deeply. I wouldn't want to see him hurt or harmed.
Don't? I want him dumped! By little Miss Midriff. By that Stairmaster L'Oreal crotch jockey. In front of everyone in the Western Hemisphere. On the 6 o'clock news. Okay? Brenda? And after that, of course, I want world peace.
Brenda is very feisty. Brenda, currently she is working as the assistant to an interior designer, which is a big plot point in tricking these, these men out of their money. But Brenda also has a lot of gutsy to her. She's the one who will call it like it is and say it like it is. She talks Elise into actual change and being an actual human being a lot of the times.
Understand? You see, I'm just a poor little housewife in a little apron with a little child to raise. Yeah, well, you were always jealous of me, even in college, because I was blonde and beautiful and talented, and I got any guy I wanted. And did. Every guy. Most of the senior class and half the faculty.
So I wanted someone who was gutsy and funny, and so that's why I went with Miss Rashida Jones. Rashida Jones is known to play gutsier characters. She's known to stand out wherever and whenever she is, from her beginnings on Parks and Recs all the way up to her in the show Black AF.
What the fuck did you just say to me? Why now?
And it was at that moment, for some reason, my mom had gone full dad. You never want to go full dad.
Is that what you said? I'll tell you why now. Because black women never get a chance to have a second act.
And she is in fact Jewish, which again helps the plot. We liked having black Jewish people in this moment. Not in this moment, but in this role. So I really thought that she would be able to handle it because she is a gutsier and more charismatic character. She also is always able to hold a scene. As you can see in her show Angie Tribeca, you know that she's able to hold down a scene.
Hey, Auntie Monica.
Oh, it's Auntie Maria now. I found Jesus. All due respect, no one cares about your feelings.
Now, the last person that we're going to be talking about is the star, and arguably, I would say Annie is the star of the show.
It didn't have to happen this way.
I am very sorry I ever met you, and I am sorry that I allowed myself to love you for all those years. I'm sorry I did nothing but be there for you every minute of every day and support you in your every move! I'm sorry!
I think that Annie is kind of like the catalyst of trying to keep them together until you really know the movie has turned is when they're trying to convince Annie to keep it all together. That's when you really know that it's turned, because Annie is usually the foothold in the group. And to play her, talking about nepotism babies.
Take the pilot for Angie Tribeca.
Yes.
And you cast your father, the famous Quincy Jones, as your father in the show.
Yeah.
Then after the pilot, you recast him and give the part to Ernie Hudson.
Okay.
That is cold.
No, let me clarify.
Who fires Quincy Jones?
Listen.
You're out, Jones!
We are talking about Tracee Ellis Ross.
What about my name? Dre, my name is just as important. And I don't understand how an educated, career-minded, self-respecting woman would change her name.
So, I can't be an educated, career-minded, self-respecting woman if I take my husband's name?
Shaming the other woman doesn't sound very feminist, Mom.
It doesn't.
That is not what I meant. Feminism is about women having choices.
I chose Miss Tracee Ellis Ross because I think that Tracee Ellis Ross, again, like Rashida Jones, plays very strong characters. Most frequently is Bo from Blackish. But she's also played other characters that are super strong, super talented, and super forward. I want to see how she interprets the doormat that is Annie's character at the beginning of the film. Her daughter even calls her a doormat.
I love your father, and I'm sure that he loves me.
You're a doormat.
She is literally like just letting her husband use her as a talking, like as a soundboard because he wants to hear himself talk even though they're separated. She's like, maybe we'll get back together when he's fully fucking their therapist. She's a doormat, and I want to see how Tracee Ellis Ross plays that. Again, she has been a very strong character and fixture, but she's also like, again, always somehow kind of the star of whatever she's in. Even like going back to her roots, Girlfriends, the show Girlfriends, that character in Girlfriends reminds me of a yassified Annie. Like, it's like, I'm the victim, but like everything's fine. I'm kind of the doormat, but like, cause like, let's be real, in Girlfriends, Tracee Ellis Ross's character was always the doormat for Maya's nonsense. Sorry, scratch that. It wasn't Maya. I mean, yes, she like let Maya ramble some, and she literally let what's face Lynn live in her house for free. But Tony, she was literally always taking shots for Tony. Tony was a terrible friend.
She's not dating your man? Ex. Maya, I do not appreciate you insulting me at the table.
You're dating Joan's ex?
Yeah, so?
And you all are friends? See, black women don't do that, Tony, like I'm wearing blue eyeshadow. Wrong.
Maya is a bright young woman with a future. And you're just one escrow and a sugar daddy away from moving your butt back to Fresno yourself.
But so was Joan. Joan was kind of bad. But like, again, she kind of had that doormat feel to her. But it was like a yassified Annie.
Down, Joan. Nobody is talking to you, Tony. Okay, Charles, we're leaving. Joan is tripping. I'm tripping? Yes, you're tripping. You're the one who brought this man into my house? My last real boyfriend, hell, I still go shopping with his mom. You said you were okay with it. I lied!
Stop it! You're both selfish assholes! Ah! Enough! Have we forgotten what we're doing here? What has happened to us? I thought we were supposed to be helping each other, not ripping each other to shreds!
So I want to see her step back into her roots and play that. But also like kind of step away from the very strong character she's been playing, like in High Notes and in Blackish, obviously. So with that being said, that is where we wrap up. That is our new cast for The First Wives Club. It's one of my favorite movies. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend it.
This is about justice. Halfway through this operation, we realized that the only people that would be helped by revenge would be us. And then we'd be no better than you.
Happier, but no better. Exhilarated, but no better. Ecstatic, but no better.
So we thought again.
A very dear friend of ours died from neglect.
And you're going to help us make very sure that that never happens again.
It's an amazing facility, and I'm standing here talking to three amazing women. Well, you must be very proud. Please tell me about your facility.
This center is dedicated in loving memory to our very dear friend, Cynthia Swan. We plan on offering counseling, family therapy, and of course, abuse intervention for all.
There are so many women in need here in Manhattan. Absolutely. But I have to ask you, is it true? Somebody told me that the idea for this whole thing started because each of you had a husband that left you for a younger woman?
Ivana, I want to thank you for coming so much. You're an angel. Oh, of course, Elise.
Thank you so much again.
Ladies, we have to be strong and independent. And remember,
What?
don't get mad, get everything.
The song You Don't Own Me is still, like, it's been more popularized now, I think, with the Harley Quinn franchise, but like, it will forever be a version, the version that I'll always forever stick together in my mind is the version from The First Wives Club, because it really does, the movie really does embody those lyrics and really does showcase that. And then also, all of these women I named on the list to play the three characters can sing to some degree. Like, not, they don't have to, obviously you don't have to be like a singer, but like they can sing to some degree. And I would like to see You Don't Own Me be reprised. With that being said, I'm Yummy.com. Don't worry, I will be back, internet friends, so stay tuned.